Hello everyone, welcome back to Obsessive Prepper AZ. I have gotten several requests on how I cut my t-shirts. See to Yourself is one of the gals that has asked me to do this video. She saw my t-shirts while I was out on the road with my husband, Highwayman Trucking, and asked me if I would do some videos. So I cut a few of my t-shirts that I've got back here. Now I have not always cut t-shirts. I've actually avoided wearing t-shirts, and one of my biggest problems with t-shirts is, one, I feel so confined. When they're wrapped around my neck, I cannot stand it. And especially in Arizona, we're 113 degrees out. The last thing I want is a t-shirt wrapped up around my neck. Now, when you go to cut a t-shirt, if you don't feel comfortable cutting a brand new t-shirt, start with an old ragged t-shirt, one of your husband's t-shirts, and do some different cuts to figure out what may work for you. And one of the biggest things is when you cut a t-shirt and you want to find a t-shirt, find something that you can put the V in and you're not taking a lot of the words away. You know, I found some t-shirts I really liked, but they were up here and it just took too much of the t-shirt away. Also, when you have t-shirts, for a lot of us ladies, if you wear a man's t-shirt, a lot of times they might be too big in your waist. And one of the things that I do is simply this. Now, this tie has been on this t-shirt since I've done it, and all I did was use a hair tie to it. I found where I wanted to put it, and I put a hair tie and bunched it, and it has gone through wash after wash and it has stayed, and that just brings in the sides of your t-shirt so it's not so baggy. Let me get it on here and I'll show you again. All right. And that's one of the ways to bring some of your t-shirt in without having it just straight up and down. I love my Guns N' Roses t-shirts. Grew up in the 80s, love Bret Michaels. Enough said, if you're an 80s gal, you love your Guns N' Roses. So, going out with my husband, being able to pick up t-shirts now that I started cutting t-shirts, got this one in Daytona Beach. I love this. Check this one out. So cute. And if you have a lot of cuts, find bras that don't have bra straps. Find them where they look like a spaghetti tank strap, or you know what I mean by a bra strap. This isn't so attractive, but if you find a thinner strap, it works great when you're looking through like these little holes here. Again, like this t-shirt that I've got here. I've got a lighter pink and it works out great. Also, you know, when you're doing your cuts, figure out how low you're going to go on your V. I would say start with maybe not so much, or get a pin and figure out where the lowest V point that you want before you actually do your cut. Again, do not overthink cutting. When you overthink, that's when you're going to mess up. So in this t-shirt here, I did some cuts down here. I don't know if you can actually see them or not. I'll try to zoom in so you can see them. Also on these cuts, I like this t-shirt, but the cuts aren't big enough, so I'll show you what I'm going to do to go ahead and take it and make them a little bit bigger, and you can cut whatever suits your personality. I'm going to get to cutting t-shirts. Come along and I'm going to show you how. On this t-shirt, all I'm going to do is go ahead and cut just another, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/2 an inch strip on all my cuts. And as I go up, I'm going to actually do a little longer of a cut. Super easy to do. Now this isn't how I do the original cut, but I'm just fixing what I've got here to make it where it's more wearable for me. All right, I think I've done enough here. Yeah, one more. So once you've done your cut, all you're going to do is stretch those cuts out. All right, we're done on that one. So not a drastic cut in them, just a little bit more so you can actually see through the cuts. And again, this is going to just depend on you, how much you want to put into your shirt. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get cut in on a new t-shirt. So see for yourself, the t-shirt you were asking was my Daytona Beach t-shirt. So we're going to go ahead and do the same cut as what we did here. I have a cute little classic guitars handmade vintage t-shirt that I got, and all we're going to do on this one is we're going to start out by cutting our V, and what we're going to do is we're going to match up our seams here. So we're going to go ahead and match those seams up. And we're just going to pull down and we're going to fold this t-shirt in half. Again, don't overthink this. Try to get it as center as you can get it. And see where these cuts are at, these stitches are at. We're going to come up at an angle and cut over on it. All right, so we're pretty well lined up. Make sure that you don't have any wrinkles down below. And I'm going to judge off of this t-shirt. I'm going to go from my shoulder down. I'm going to go down at least into the guitar down here. So I'm going to start here. Again, I didn't measure anything. And again, how wide do you want your cut? So that's just straight up to you. I'm going to go straight in, and as I'm coming in, I'm going to cut over, and I'm going to come into this point here. And we're going to angle off, and then I'm just going to cut straight down. So I'm at an angle completely. Get rid of that piece. And there's our cut. Now, as you lay it here, you can see like maybe this part here isn't exactly how you want it in the cut. You want it a little bit more out. So I'm just going to cut off a piece there. And this one's pretty okay. All right. So there's our V. Pretty dang simple. Now on the Daytona Beach, I did not put any cuts here. I only did my cuts up here. And again, super dang easy to do. All I did was I started on my Daytona Beach on my sleeves. So on my sleeve cut, I just went straight down into a cut. And then what you want to do is have it at least an inch wide onto the next cut. And you can either zigzag them, try to match it, or have it varied out. And again, I'm not even measuring. I'm just figuring it in my head, because when it gets down to business, nobody's going to sit here and inspect this shirt. All right, so there's our initial cuts. Going to go ahead and do this side cuts. So I'm going to go in an inch, go down. On this shirt here, I kind of go probably a 1/4 inch on the second cut. So I'm kind of zigzagging them a little bit. That's a shorter cut, longer cut, shorter cut, and longer cut. All right, so that's our sleeves. And then we're going to do the same here. Now you've got to decide how close do you want this in. So I'm probably going to go in, if If you can see here, if this is the cut here, I'm going to go in about 1 inch from the side. So I'm cutting about the length of the scissor, and then the second cut a little bit past the length. So this is the regular length and past the length. And we're doing this side. Again, once it's pulled, nobody's going to sit here and inspect this t-shirt. All right, everything is done. So now all I'm going to do is take each cut and I'm just going to pull on it a little bit. Don't pull it to the point where you pull it completely out, but you can see I'm tugging on it. And by doing that, you're giving it that string look to it. All right, there's that one side. Working on this side. And when I'm telling you Arizona's hot, I've got my air at 77 degrees. And I'm filming right now and I'm sweating. No fun in Arizona in the summertime, but I'd rather have it than your humidity back east. Taking the strands, pulling up. And that's what's nice too, especially with you with the humidity back east, that, you know, having little holes in your shirt sure help you cool down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this on and I'll get back with you. So here we go. This is our finished product. Fun. Again, if you are a smaller gal and you want to be able to pull it in, turn it here, put a little tie in it. If you want to put a cut up here and put a little knot in it, the cut's super easy, just at the sleeve, and then you can put it in a little knot. So our first t-shirt, and then I'll do another one for you real quick. So the next t-shirt I've got is a Jim Beam t-shirt. Now the t-shirts that I picked out today aren't normally the t-shirts maybe I would wear or look for in specific, but because See For Yourself wanted me to do a video, I just went out. They were $5 a piece, and no problems cutting these up and wearing them. This would be a nice little river shirt, lake shirt. So what we're gonna do with this one is I'm gonna cut it like this and show you what I've done. Okay, on the Jim Beam t-shirt, we're going to cut the sleeve. So right where the fold's at, and I do it before I ever even wash the t-shirts. Go up, and I would say probably easy. Oh, let me look at what I did here on this one t-shirt. Yeah, I went up to this point here, about 1 inch away from the seam. Hopefully you can see this here. I don't have the sharpest scissors here, but they work. So 1 inch. So we're going to go ahead and do this side, same thing, and go into 1 inch away from the top shoulder seam. All right. Pull on it. And then now all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot. And the knot that I put in my Georgia Peach one's been there since I've done the t-shirt. Then just pull on it. Whoop. And now we're going to do this side. And once you do it, like I said, the washes, they're fine. It just stays in perfectly fine. Pull on these, get it real tight on the top half, and then pull your t-shirt on this lower half. All right, so I've got those. Now, again, we're looking at the V. Whoops. I'm sorry about that. So now we're looking at the V. We're going to line up our two seams, just like that. We're going to pull it down, and then we're just going to lay out in half our t-shirt. We only want the front half in our fold, not the back half. Again, I'm going to look and make sure I've got these lined up correctly. And you can kind of feel it also when you're feeling it, you can feel through. All right. Make sure there's no seams, no folds, wrinkles underneath. And then again, we're going to figure out how long we want this cut. And I don't, in all honesty, pay attention to, I just kind of figure it, how far down I want to go. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go in, again, as far as you want to make the cut out, and then start curving in. And then when we get to the seams, go straight up at that angle that you were at. All right, so we've got that seam cut. So now what I do is I literally just take it and I fold it in as it's laying here about an inch. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. So I've got my V, I go down to my V, I go in about an inch. Now what you don't want to do is your outside stitched area, you want to stay away from that. So when you do that cut, because you can have them eventually pull and tear. So down here, all I'm going to do with my scissor from that cut is do just simple cuts. You can either cut up, cut down, whatever works for you. And again, you will not be able to tell one way or another if it's right, wrong, or otherwise, and you can always go back in and do some simple little cuts to expand it if you didn't do enough cuts. So there's my first set of cuts here. Now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Fold it in. And start with my cuts. And I always kind of do, like, let's call it 1.5 inches in. Like meaning the space between the cuts, 1 inch. Let's call it 1 inch. So I judge it just with my thumb and my thumbnail. And I can feel a wrinkle under there. I don't want that. All right, there we go. And then when we come down to The bottom, here you can see I don't have any cuts in here. So that's up to you if you want to put a couple cuts into there. And that, all I would do is fold the front V down, and I would angle off my cuts down. So I would do one here, and then one in the very center. And then again, what you're going to do, now that you've got your cuts in here, you're going to take your hands and you're going to stretch your cut. Super, super easy, like I said, to do. Just don't overthink what you're doing. Now the only other thing, again, like you did with your sleeves, you can go up your sides and put a knot down here. My weight, I'm not doing that. Or you can put your little tie back here. You could also, if you wanted to, fold this completely in half and line it on your back, and you could put straight cuts, longer ones, across. And you could just do it. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to show that to you. Give me 1 second to fold this. Hopefully I've got this pretty well even. I'm not going to do this to the point where I'm so worrying about what I'm doing here. So your back, you're going to go down. I'm going to do my first cut here, and I'm going to do an inch in. And then I'm going to do my next one. It's going to be an inch and a half down, and I'm going to go a little longer. Hope like you can see this here. So you can see that I went in a longer cut. I'm going to do one shorter cut, and I'm going to do a longer cut. I'm going to pull on this. Let's see, I don't know how many I want. I'm going to do 5. 3, shorter one, and one longer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, how easy was that? Okay, I'm going to get this one on and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, Jim Beam Bourbon t-shirt completely done. Again, if you want longer cuts, go back in and cut them. Our sleeves and our back. Super easy. So go ahead, get you some t-shirts, give it a try. If you are so afraid to try it with a new t-shirt, get your husband or your boyfriend's crappy t-shirt, try it. Again, you can do the same kind of cuts down around like I've got on this one here. Different cuts along the bottom. So get yourself some t-shirts and try it. See for yourself. Thank you. Thank you for pushing me to do another video. I don't think sometimes of certain videos that might help somebody out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell. Have a blessed day.